Staring in the mirror, giving counsel to myself. This is not who I remember. Seems I hardly know this man. Making faces, trying to figure the location of a dream that I lost somewhere behind, in which I could be defined. Look what life has done to me. Try to remember who you were. Look what life has done to me.
Brothers and sisters, how you doing? So this is an update on Gene. For those of you that have watched the last episode that I just posted, I met Gene. It's funny how I met Gene is because I was filming and Gene walked up. He was mad because he saw me filming over there against the wall on Allegheny. And some girls just got through screaming at me, and then he came over there behind them and he was trying to straighten me. And
shit. They be like, yo, why you recording them? They be like, why you recording them? But I have that freedom. I have that right. This is America. This is America.
Yeah, America not the one.
Cause I got a YouTube channel. Man, I'm just recording.
That's how my family be hitting me. Listen, man, my family be hitting me up saying like I see you on YouTube and all that shit, bro. Nobody's feeling you see them like this.
I be out here in the streets.
So, you know, we end up, you know, talking and he came to a full understanding what I was about. Really what it was, Gene thought I was one of those guys that like to film and show the bad that they doing and just walk off and post it, you know. And I explained to him that I come out here for the purpose of trying to minister to people and try to help them, you know, and it's a lot of things I do that you don't see on film, but you know, I try to be about God's business, in other words. But anyway, so me and Gene had a great understanding after that, and Gene agreed to do an interview with me, and that was that interview that you saw on the last post. If you're just coming into this channel, I'm asking that you go to the video right before this one. It'll be this one right here. That one, that's the one I'm going to post. That's the one that I posted already. So watch that entire video and then come back and watch it. So in that interview, we see that Gene was showing us, you know, Gene kept it 100 with us. You know, he told us that these drugs out here in Kensington is not good. It's not good at all. And he showed what those drugs are doing to his body. You know, has open sores, is putting holes in his arms, in his legs. His legs look like they've been burnt with fire. You know, and that's because they put gasoline in there. That's one of the things that is cut with gas. I do not know why in the world would they put gasoline in something and then put it in somebody's body. I don't understand who's putting that together, who came up with that idea. This would be good for them. I don't understand that, man. You know, so Gene knows that. So in that interview, you see me ask Gene. I said, Gene, now you showed me these, you know, your arms and your legs. Would you be willing to go to the hospital?
And I think you told me earlier that you need to go to the hospital, and I asked you, do you want me to take you? Because I'd be willing to take you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm just not ready to go right this second. But hopefully in the next couple of days I'll be ready.
Okay, so you guys out there that's watching this channel, I'm asking you, if you're a Christian, to keep Gene in prayer. You've seen his hand, you've seen his foot. He hasn't quite made the decision to go to the hospital, but he really needs to go. And keep him in prayer that he makes that decision, and keep in prayer that he surrender his life to Christ.
Man, as God is my witness, I would have stopped everything, put him in the car, and took him straight to the hospital and let them take care of him. And then after that, my next step was trying to get him to rehab. See, I got a rehab with the church that there's no waiting list. You don't have to wait 30 days. You don't have to be on a waiting list or none of that. You know, you get right in there. You know, all I got to do is call them introduce you to the pastor or introduce you to one of the ministers. And they're going to sit down and talk with you for about a good 5 or 10 minutes and just tell you everything that's going to be expected in there. And after that, that's it. All you got to do is say yes. You go in there, you get a bed, you get free room and board, you get 3 meals a day. They got clothes for you and everything. You know, I mean, you'll be taken care of. They're going to take you to the hospital. He'll get your wounds together. They're going to help you get off of these drugs. And you're going to be in there, and they're going to be teaching you about your creator, which is God. Because see, that's my whole point. You know, I'm trying to get you into a relationship with your creator, which is God, through his son, Jesus Christ. Because I am a Christian, and, you know, that's what a good Samaritan do. I try to be that good Samaritan, you know, and that's what we all supposed to be. You know, we're supposed to be there. I don't know Gene. I didn't grow up with Gene. You know, we didn't go to school together. I'm not from Philadelphia. I'm not even from the East Coast. But, you know, God has put it in my heart to go over here and to help. Gene went through hell after our interview. I'm going to tell you what I learned, and I learned this from Frank. Because remember, I don't live down there, so I can't go there every single day. I'm way on the West Coast, and they are on the East Coast. But I learned these things from Frank. And if anybody don't know who Frank is, it's Morals Over Money. You look him up on YouTube, Morals Over Money. His name is King Frank, and he does a lot of interviews down there. We pretty much do the similar things, you know. Me, him, and a brother named Malcolm. Now, I haven't met either one of these guys yet, but I'm looking to meet him one day. I'm looking to meet him one day just so I can shake their hand and say, hey, man, I respect what you're doing, and things like that of that nature. So anyway, I learned from Frank by watching his videos that shortly after me and Gene departed, right out there on those streets, somebody beat him with a baseball bat. They knocked out his tooth. They knocked out his teeth, his front teeth. They broke his jaw, and they broke his nose. Gene afterwards went to the hospital because he had no other choice now to go to the hospital because his nose is broken, jaw is broken, teeth is knocked out. You ain't got no other choice but to go to the hospital now. There's no way you could just go lay down on that hard concrete out there on the streets and just hope that tomorrow it'll be a different day. No, that's some pain you need to get looked into, you know. So he went to the hospital. When he went to the hospital, naturally, he's in there for a while. He went into detoxing, you know. He started having seizures. This is why a lot of them don't want to go through detoxing, because there's a lot of stuff you go through. Some people die going through withdrawal or detox, you know. So anyway, he started detoxing, and he started having seizures. Gene then went into a coma, and he was in a coma for a whole week. That video that I showed you right before this with him in the hospital, again, that wasn't me. I got this from Frank. Go on his YouTube channel and watch the whole story. Matter of fact, follow everything he's saying. But because you're my viewers and you probably don't know about him, I'm gonna give you pieces of it in this one, and then later on you could go to his page to go look at the full story, because I'm not gonna show the whole thing. But I'm just showing you how I strongly believe, because in that last interview, I told y'all to pray for him. Pray that he will go to the hospital. See, when we pray for somebody, we don't know how God's going to work it out. We don't know how God will create havoc to get you to go into a place that you really need to be at, you know? So my thing is that I just wanted you guys to pray for him, and I'm asking that you continue to pray for him. But I just wanted him to go to the hospital, you know. I just wanted to see him to go to the hospital and get treated, and also go into rehab, you know, and get off those streets. But anyway, so these things that I'm telling you that happened to Gene, I'm gonna let Frank tell you exactly what happened to Gene. I'm gonna let Frank tell you what happened to Gene. Watch this video right here. This right here is when Frank just found out that Gene got jumped on, and Frank went straight down there to go talk to him, and this is that interview right here. Look at this interview.
guys. That's it for me, too.
Beautiful. Listen, remember, whatever you're feeling right now, in a little while when you think about, damn, should I leave, should I not?
Thank you for everybody that supported me through this whole thing, everybody that wanted me to win, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm about to win. It's over. Thanks Frank for everything. I mean, everything he did for me, Frank did a lot for me.
Good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning. I'm sitting here at my table doing some work. I just got off the phone with Gene's mother. So the situation with Gene is yesterday he went to the hospital. They admitted him into the hospital. He's still at the hospital. Listen, out of everybody that I have recently came across down there in Kensington, I would say in the past 6 months to a year, Gene needs to get out of there, right? When you talk about laying in the gutter, there's days where I went down there and Gene was literally laying in the gutter. I'm not talking about figuratively, I'm talking about literally. He was laying in the gutter, very shallow breaths, and I stood there with him for, damn near 45 minutes, an hour. He wasn't in good shape. I had to continuously check and see if he was breathing, and I just sat in my car and, had a cup of coffee and just sort of sat there with him. He needs to get out of there. He's one of those people, if he doesn't get out of there soon, he might not get out of there ever. And those of you that don't know, that didn't see the live, Gene was involved in an altercation 2 days ago. Got hit in the face with a bat. Looks like it broke his nose. Might have broke his jaw and knocked a couple of his teeth out. So he needs to get out of there. This is literally a situation of life and death. So
Anyway, the thing with Gene, that was God. See, one thing about God, God knows the beginning and the end. God can look into the future. See, we can't see the future. We can only see that's what's right in front of us. Unless God reveal it to us in a dream about something that's going to take place in the future. That's the only way we can know the future. But outside of that, God is the only one that could peek into the future and see something. Now, when God sees that in your future some bad things are going to happen, he tries to intervene. And he'll send somebody to try to rescue you off of that path, because God sees if you stay on this path, bad things are going to happen to you. And that's what he did with Gene. Because immediately after I try to get him into the recovery, after I try to get him to rehab, after I try to take him to the hospital and get him off of those streets, and Frank has been doing the same thing. God has been sending people to him to try to get him off of that path. You ever heard that old phrase? It's an old phrase, but it doesn't matter how old it is so true. Warning comes before destruction. Warning does come before destruction. Because I believe that Gene was warned. He was warned by Frank. He was warned by other people. He was warned by his mother. And he was warned by me to get off these streets before you're going to die on these streets. Thank God that he didn't die on the streets. But Gene went through hell after our interview. So in this interview, we see that his mom came down from Florida to see him. She was right there by his bedside. And like I said, he went into a coma. Frank went into the hospital, to go see him. I couldn't do that because I'm way on the West Coast when this happened. Had I have been there and I found that out, I would have definitely went to the hospital to go see Gene. And if they would allow me to come in, I definitely would have went all the way to his bedside and prayed for him and encouraged him to stay, right here in the hospital until you get clean. I definitely would have did that. That's my purpose for going down there, period, is to tell everybody that, But anyway, so that's a good thing, man. I really like what I saw Frank do. To me, that shows that he's a true friend, because they're friends. They know each other. And, that's good what he did, man. I take my hat off to Frank. And so we see, that he went on in. So then now, Frank did another update. And look what he says right here.
We went to go see Gene. We got there. You know, he didn't seem to be in pain or discomfort or anything. He even wanted to do an interview to fill everybody in on how he was. So I'll play the interview. Make sure to stay tuned afterwards so I can fill you guys in on something.
You don't get to do it all.
It was just us.
Exactly.
No kids.
So, as y'all see, we here in the hospital with Gene. Came to check out Gene. We was here yesterday also, before the live. So, we just came back today to chill with him for a little while, check on him, see how he's doing. So today's the second day without the tube. How you feeling, brother?
I can't really talk too good, but I'm alright.
You're alright, alright? Physically, you have any pain or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Discomfort?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. So, for everybody that doesn't know, Gene came in off the street. Anyway, Gene came in off the streets Sunday. Monday, he was, in the hospital, uncomfortable. Tuesday, he had a seizure, a grand mal seizure, which led to him being in a coma up until yesterday. He was in a coma from Tuesday.
Ray Henry said
Yep.
that I had multiple seizures.
Yeah.
Yes, and so they did an MRI scan, and it showed that he had multiple seizures. So it showed the one that he just had that put him in a coma, and then it showed, previous to, but, for the most part, he's doing all right. He is, going to be not feeling the best. Imagine just coming out from a tube, having a tube removed. I'm sure he feels weak, but he's alive. He's here. He has. So, how many teeth do you have missing?
2.
It's 2. 2 teeth missing. The front 2.
2. All I want for Christmas is a bunch of
Your nose broken?
Yeah.
Okay, nose is broken. So he said,
with a bat.
yeah, he got hit with a bat. Do you remember doing an interview right? It was after it happened, but it was.
Because I choosing to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So you've been getting a lot of overwhelming amount of prayers and support and well wishes from the channel. Anything you'd like to say?
It's very appreciated.
Yes, absolutely. So as you just seen, Gene, he doesn't look the best, but he shouldn't. You know what I mean? He's just been through a lot. He's been in a coma for the past week. His body has been through a lot. So we left the hospital about 6, 7 o'clock. We get home 9:30, 10 o'clock. Me and Gene's mother message back and forth. She tells me that she asked me if I brought him clothes. And I said, no, absolutely not. He's been asking me to bring him clothes, but me and Rachel already knew what was up. It was like, if we take him clothes, he's more likely to leave. So he didn't have clothes, so we just made sure we're making it as hard as possible for him to leave. When we got there, he was on the phone with somebody, and the conversation seemed like sort of scheming. So we made sure when we left, we let the nurses know, just be mindful of who comes to visit him, so they don't pass him nothing off, anything like that. I just got a weird vibe. Me and his mother, we message back and forth. I call the hospital to check on him, and speak to him real quick, reassuring him that, look, things are going to be all right. You might not feel the best now, but one thing you don't want to do is be back in Kensington. You know, he agrees with me. So then I wake up this morning to find out that Gene left the hospital. Gene left the hospital last night. He's back down Kensington. You guys seen what type of shape he's in. He's in no shape to be out there in the streets, getting high, poisoning his body again. None whatsoever.
Yeah, so you see Gene in the hospital. You know, he looks bad. You know, he's going through a lot in that video. And just think about it. He just got his nose broken. He got his jaw broken. He got his teeth knocked out of his mouth. He's in pain, and he just got out of coma. And he's in a detox mode. That body's dying for those drugs. He's going through hell right now, right? And you see how after Frank and his wife Rachel left him, he went back home. He even called Gene again on the phone and told him, you know, what you're going through, it may be real bad by now, but it's going to get greater later. Even promised him, because Frank got a barbershop. Frank was even promising him, man, I promise you, I'm going to be there with you. If you get out of this, you make it out of there, you come out here with me, I'm going to teach you how to cut hair, and you work in a barbershop. Now, for him to be working in a barbershop, he can make pretty good money, you know, because there's a lot of people down there get their haircuts, you know. So he got a promised career in front of him. He got a promised future if he just make that choice to get off the streets. Not only that, but you'll build your relationship back with your mom, because you really hurted your mom carrying her through the mud through this whole situation. Frank said that he understood, and he hung up the phone. Frank called him again the next day and found out that Gene left the hospital and went back to the streets of Kensington. Man, when I tell you that drug, that fentanyl, is very powerful, it is. And I'm not speaking through experience, because I've never done that. Yeah, so all the things that I've seen it do to people, you know, and on how this drug is eating up your flesh, putting holes in your body, putting bruises and scars all over you, got you bleeding, and your skin is burning, and yet you're saying, hey, give me another one of them. I can't understand how you do that. Because if I get a little scratch on my hand, I'll be ready to put a Band-Aid on it. You know, I'll be ready to go take care of that. You know, there's no way I can have open sores and all that over my body. I can't understand that part, man. But when you're addicted to something, man, it's a stronghold. It's beyond your willpower. You know, that's why the Bible speaks of it and called it a stronghold. You know, so, you know, saints of God, I am asking you to keep Gene in prayer and keep all the people in Kensington a prayer. I'm asking for a move of God to sweep through there and to change the hearts of men. You know, we can go over there and we can preach, we can teach, we can witness, we can encourage, we can edify, but at the end of the day, it's still up to their choice. It's still about their choice. They have to choose. They have to make that choice. We can only present to them another option other than the option that they have already made. But at the end of the day, it's their choice. I went down there just the other day, about 2 days ago. I promised you, I searched for Gene, because Frank said in another video he was there. You know, he went on the street and he saw Gene, and he was there on Kensington Avenue. So I went a couple of days after he made that video. I went and looking for Gene. You know, all on Allegheny, searching, asking everybody, you seen Gene? You seen Gene? They said, oh, no, he was here earlier, I don't know where he's at. And I'm talking about at nighttime. Then the next day I was there the whole entire day, all the way to the end of the night. And I'm talking about constantly. I walked all down Allegheny Avenue. I made that turn to walk down Kensington Avenue all the way to Needle Park, and from Needle Park all the way back up. I drove around, man. I'm looking for this guy, man, like he owed me money. and I can't find him. I can't find Gene, man. I'm asking everybody. Everybody don't know where he's at. So one thing I could say, I know he's not, I know he didn't pass away. I know he didn't OD. And I'm going to tell you why I know that. Because Gene has been to jail before, right? So he has a record. So if he OD'd out there in the streets, when the police come, they're going to run his fingerprint and his name is going to come up. And his next of kin is going to come up, which was his mother. She used to be a police officer. So I'm sure they very well know who he is. So they will contact his mother. His mother is going to contact Frank. And Frank is going to upload a video if something bad had happened to him as far as he died or overdose or anything like that. So thank God that he's not dead. I don't think he's in a hospital, because if he went back into the hospital or even a rehab, Frank would know about it and he'll upload a video about it. So I don't know where he's at. I don't know if somebody took him into their house. I don't know. But I know every time I go down there, I'm going to make it my business to look for Gene. But until then, keep Gene in your prayers. He has a wife out there that's out there with him too. And I'm going to show you how powerful this is. When he went in, she got nervous. And she called the hospital and was telling him, hey, man, you went in there. You left me out here by myself, because, you know, she's looking for him to be the breadwinner, to get the money, to come back with the dope so both of them can get high, go to sleep and stuff like that, right? So, you know, that kind of pressured him to want to get back out there to get to his wife, you know. But his mama was standing beside him saying, no, that's not going to happen, you know. And if you do, I'm cutting my ties with you. If you walk out of here, I'm cutting my ties with you. Because, you know, our mama's fed up. She's been dealing with him for years about the same situation. You know, she just fed up. And his wife ended up checking in and going into the hospital. You know, so she's following what her husband did, what her husband is doing. And then she found out that he got out. So then she ended up leaving. So that's to show you how powerful a man is. See, this is why when you're a man, you got to be strong for not only yourself, but you got to be strong for your wife. Because if you try, it's not so much about just cleaning yourself up. That is good. But if you have a wife, a significant other, and she's on the very same thing that you on, you should not only want to clean up yourself, but you should want your wife to clean up. Because if you stay out there on the streets, she's going to stay on the streets with you. But if you make your mind up that you're going to check into a rehab, she might fight and kick a little bit, but she's going to eventually just give up and go on into the rehab because she's following her man, you know. So he got back out, she got back out. He's back in the street, she's back in the street. He's back on the dope, she's back on the dope. And it's dangerous, man, for someone like that who got a nose broken, a jaw broken, just got out of coma, to be right back there sleeping on a hard concrete ground after laying in that nice comfortable bed he was laying in the hospital. For you to leave that to go back to that concrete, all for that drug, that lets me know that drug is very, very, very powerful. If you are watching this and you are thinking about trying fentanyl, or you are thinking about going down there to Kensington Avenue to get high, to start copping dope, my thing to you is, don't do it. Watch these videos, learn from other people's mistakes, and don't do it. It ain't worth it. People are dying on those streets every day. Every day somebody's ODing and dying on Kensington Avenue, on Allegheny Avenue, all through that area right there. People are coming up dead off of those drugs. That's how poisonous those drugs are. Those drugs are poisonous because it's cut with things that'll kill you fast. They cut it with gasoline, horse tranquilizer, meat tenderizer, rat poison. It's like it's designed to kill you. So don't never make that mistake to do that. Don't do drugs. Don't do it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Take it from an ex-drug dealer that went to prison for selling drugs, that got his life right with God, and started reading the Bible, and God opened up my eyes to let me see what I was doing. I was destroying other people's lives just so I can buy nice cars and jewelry and travel and do all of this. That was selfish. I was a murderer. I don't know if anybody died off of that. I don't know. I can't say yes, or I definitely can't say no. But I know I was destroying people's lives. God knows if I did or not. I know I was destroying people's lives. I wasn't supplying these kind of drugs. There wasn't no fentanyl back. This is almost like 30 years ago. There was no fentanyl back then. I wasn't dealing with heroin, but I was dealing with crack and cocaine. You know, I don't know if anybody died off of crack, but I know their lives were destroyed, and they was doing things like, you know, stealing from their own family members and stealing from people, and some people got caught stealing, you know, just to support their habit, but they got caught stealing by the wrong person. The person killed them. Who knows? I could have been behind that. I don't know, you know. So I feel bad that I ever was a part of that. You know, I'm not ashamed to mention that, you know, because not only am I trying to reach out to them, but I'm also reaching out to people that's selling the drugs. You know, think about what you're doing. How would you feel if somebody was selling your mama that? How would you feel if somebody was selling that to your daughter? They got your daughter hooked, strung out on drugs. Got her walking up and down the avenue doing all kind of stuff just to make sure she could get her next fix. How would you feel about that? Well, that same person that you selling, that you giving those drugs to, that's somebody's mama. That's somebody's brother. That's somebody's sister. That's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's dad. Because you got young, middle-aged, and old people out there. So, I just wanted to give you an update on Gene and ask that you keep Gene in prayer. And if I find out anything else about Gene, be on the lookout for another update on Gene. All right. I want to thank you guys for subscribing, all the new subscribers that subscribe to the channel. If this is your first time swinging by, I'm asking that you go back on the page and just flip on down and check out some of the other videos. I got a lot of videos on there about me in Kensington Avenue, and I got a whole lot more coming up. You know, my job is not finished. My job is not done, and I'm going to continue to keep going out that way because I want to try to save somebody. You know, I want to try to get somebody off them streets. That's my main goal. I'm not getting paid for this. I don't get paid for this, but I'm doing it because I know this is the work of the Lord, and I'm a Christian. And I want to do just that. You know, so. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching this channel. God bless you guys, and stay tuned for the next upload.
Look what life has done to me. Look what life has done to me.